Hey everybody, so I just wanted to show you guys at the end of the day, even though I struggle most nights with lupus and I, just overall have like a long day, at the end of the day, I still have to have a clean house. My daughter, clean house, my daughters are showered. I think it's almost 10 o'clock though. We're late today because we had company over earlier. But here's my living room. Like I said earlier, I don't have furniture. My kitchen's clean. I'm putting my daughter to bed, but unfortunately she's been suffering with a nosebleed all day long. Here's my kitchen. I just gotta put that pot away. But the bathroom is dirty. Kids' room. Mi cuarto. I'm putting away the rest of the clothes. Excuse my small mess. But at the end of the day, my house is clean most of the time. But having kids, it never stays clean. Never. It's my carpet. I love clean carpet. It makes me more motivated to work out in the mornings, having a clean surface. I've been like this my whole life. I've always wanted a clean space. Just anywhere and everywhere. If I spilled something on my carpet, I'd immediately go and get like some type of cleaner and like clean it all up. So I'm just a neat freak, and it's kind of hard to live with because I'm like angry towards my kids when they make messes. I'm trying to learn how to get out of that. I'm really trying to get out of having like, I don't know if it's OCD or what it is about having a spotless, clean house. And I have children, children should be children. They should be playing and having fun and, enjoying life and not having an angry mom all the time, saying, pick up your mess, you're gonna get spanked, which I never really do. I never spank my kids. I have, I'm not gonna lie, of course. I've spanked my children, but even though I tell them I'm gonna spank them, I never do. I think that's why I have trouble with having them to keep the house clean, but at the same time, they are children, so I also gotta learn that as well. And also dealing with lupus, and, I think most of the time when I get depressed, that's when I become probably the angriest because I feel like I'm letting myself down. Even though my everyday life is productive, I'm very, very productive. I've learned to not let the depression get me. And that's another part that I wanted to talk about in 2016 and from now, like how much I've changed dramatically. And this is the part of it, learning how to balance everything out, learning how to control certain, emotions, because I'm an emotional person. I cry, I'm angry, I get mood swings, a lot of the times people kept thinking I was like bipolar, and I don't want to say I'm bipolar. I don't think I'm bipolar. I think it's just I have a lot of pet peeves, and I have a lot of rules in my house. I have a lot of guidelines for my children, and when I feel like someone's not listening to what I say, then I get frustrated and I'm like, oh no, I get upset. I think I went totally off topic again. Lupus, brain fog. I'm working on that as well. There's so many things you have to work with yourself in order to make changes in your life. So that's another thing I have to work on. Poor concentration. It's my baby. One of my babies. She's been having a nosebleed all day. I think I said that earlier. I don't know if you can see her, but I put some tissue in her nostrils to keep it in there because she's not bleeding a lot, but it just keeps coming out. So she suffers with nosebleeds a lot, and it's going on like 4 years, and she's 4 years old. Excuse me. But back to lupus. Talking about the past and from now. What the hell does that mean? From my past, dealing with depression, dealing with anger, anxiety, super bad anxiety. It's bad. And I've learned to not show it anymore. Not that I've ever showed it before, but I don't go out because of my anxiety. And in high school, in college, some jobs I've had, I've never really made friends that much. So I don't really go out either way. But I just, in being in public, I get scared. I don't know what's wrong with me. That's another thing I have to work on. And I tell this to my coworkers at work, and it's funny because they don't believe me because they see how outgoing I am at work, and I'm like, no. In reality, I'm like dying. Hide. Breathe. And if you know me from work, how many times you see me taking deep breaths in? Be honest. My booger. Love my baby girls. At the end of the day, it's all about my children. It is. I do everything for them. I've changed my lifestyle for them. I've changed my mentality for them. I stopped my medications for them, even though sometimes I question whether not being on my medication is a good thing because I do suffer with so many things, but I'm still productive and active. So I don't know. Just praying for the best. I've tried to incorporate God more in my life. I believe most of my life is thanks to Him because, you know, back then with depression and dealing with depression, the things and thoughts that I used to have and prayed about, like, God has always been in there for me, and He's always guided me and always just never let me down. And I think now I'm starting to understand why He gave me this life. And every goal and ambition that I've ever had and ever dreamt of, like, I'm actually starting to achieve those goals. I never thought I was capable enough to even keep a job, you know. As lupus folks know how hard it is to keep a damn job. And it's incredible how I've been able to keep my job that I have now. And I'm so grateful for it because I've been open and honest. Back then, you know, I'm talking about 2016 and back then, past, I guess. I never opened up to my bosses. I never opened up to coworkers about like things that I was dealing with mentally and internally and my health. So I think by doing that and being open and honest, I've been able to establish a good relationship with my two bosses. Excuse me. Sorry, I stopped the last video because I wanted to sit down and I was looking for my selfie stick. I can't find that shit. The crap I gotta look for. Here's my booger. My pobrecita, mi chula. My booger. But I was saying how I've been open and honest with communicating with my bosses, and I've been able to establish a good relationship with them. So when I do have to call out from work, I think they know why. And even though, you know, you don't have to do this because I think it's per HIPAA, like you don't have to show them exactly what diseases you have. I keep saying diseases. Lupus is not a disease or, you know, something bad like that. But, you know, just to be open about fibromyalgia, you know, Sjogren's, you know, lupus. When I went through that whole leukemia, you know, thing, I opened up and I was honest and I brought in my documentation. I brought in my paperwork. I brought in hospital paperwork. And I think I'm struggling with this video. Excuse me once again. My nephew called me, but I don't remember what I was talking about. Shit, this video's gonna suck, and I'm sorry, guys. So many of you have reached out to me about my last videos, so this is why I'm trying to continue the second part of my video, so that way I can continue on with my past, you know, talking about my past and all the way up to now and what brought me here to this day. But I think I was saying about my bosses. I have been able to establish a really good relationship with them by being open, like I said, showing my documentation, showing doctor papers, even though, you know, a lot of the time I felt embarrassed, you know, just feeling embarrassed because being myself in the public and being so positive and, you know, just, you know, talking to my coworkers about diet and how, you know, diets changed my life and, you know, just trying to educate others on the education that I've taught myself. But by doing that, that's how I've been able to keep my job for the past, you know, close to 4 years, you know, and I've never been able to do this. I've never, you know, one person reached out to me and she said that she's on, you know, disability. And there's been so many times, you know, my relatives, my cousins would tell me, you know, don't you think it's time to be on disability? You know, you're not surviving, you know, it's time. And coworkers, you know, just everybody in general in my life kept saying it's time for disability. Section 8, you know, it's time to just you know, accept everything. And I'm like, no, 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 no. Like, this is BS. Like, I refuse to believe that I'm going to have to be on disability for the rest of my life. I'm very stubborn. And I think because the reasons why I'm so stubborn is because I, you know, I lived on my own my entire life. I didn't have guidance. I didn't have parents. I didn't have, you know, anybody to show me how to survive in the real world. And because of the fact that I've survived and I've gotten to this place where I'm in now, even if I don't have furniture, I don't care. I have a roof over my head and I've been able to pay for it on my own. And that's a huge deal for me because, you know, always being sick, always. And I have my cousin, I don't know if she's okay with me talking about her on here, so I'm not going to say her name, but she knows who I'm talking about. I have this one cousin, and she moved to Virginia, which breaks my heart so bad. But she's seen me through it all, like through it all. The depression, the kidney, the, you know, everything. She knows everything. And because she's always kept me in her life. We've always communicated, even though we were always far away from each other. She's always texted me. She's like my sister. I love her so much. But even her too, she's like, you know, don't you think it's disability? And I'm like, no. I'm like over here homeless, barely paying rent, you know, and I'm like, no, you know, only being able to work 2 days out of a week because I'm so exhausted and tired, falling asleep on buses because I didn't have a car. You know, I walked everywhere. Man, if you only knew. I remember when I was first experiencing, oh my God, I don't want to talk about that one yet. Let's fast forward a few years. That was a few years back in like, whenever I was working for Kohl's. For the employees that knew me at Kohl's in Fontana, knows, you know, what I was going through, hopefully, if they remember. I lost that job because I was always sick and I was in the hospital. But you don't want to know. Diverticulitis. I had diverticulitis. This is crazy. And when the doctor told me this, he literally told me 70-year-olds get this shit. And he's like, he was actually one of the only doctors ever that mentioned, what's your diet like? And I was like, well, I eat a lot of salsa. And he was like, well, there you go. Salsa has grains in it. Your body can't digest seeds very well. And I bulged my intestines, I guess. I don't really remember. I was really young. I could be wrong about this information. I can't remember much. I used to have all of those papers because I kept everything. I kept all of my hospital paperwork because I swear I lived in hospitals. And I wanted to keep proof and records because I just couldn't believe it myself, all the things that I was going through. I just couldn't believe it. I was like, is this in my head? Why is my body reacting this way? And, you know, growing up on my own and not knowing how to schedule doctor's appointments, you know, I suffered a lot in here. I was kind of like dumb, like literally dumb. Didn't know about scheduling appointments, didn't know about college. I didn't know anything in high school. I was really not popular, but I was like, you know, everybody kind of knew me. But I was always to myself. I missed a lot of school, so not really popular. I take that back. Actually, I was like the opposite. But just, I forgot what I was saying. Not high school. What was I saying? My baby fell asleep. Sorry. I was like mad at her earlier. I was like yelling at her. I felt bad. She's like super hyper, super wild. This is the only way she falls asleep, if I hold her, if I cuddle with my baby. At the end of the day, I try to do that every night, no matter what. They are the love of my life, and they are the what saved me from depression, from health, from death. Shit, I wish I could remember what I was talking about. Can someone type me and remind me? I don't like watching my own videos. Which is why when I make mistakes, I don't know how to correct them either. Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about. Not really knowing much, you know, anything at all. I barely even know how to register my kids in school. You know, my mom never registered me in school in the few months I lived with her, you know, in high school. Gosh, I miss high school. if only I could go back. If only, like we all say, what I know now, if I only knew then, jeez. Every wish and every dream that I ever dreamt of would have been already came true. You know, this is a step. This is my step. I have books here, I have books over there for my kids, I have books in my room. You know, I started really learning. I'm like, I'm tired of being dumb. Let me start learning. Let me just sit down for, and I still kind of do. I can't really sit still for long periods of time. I've gotten way better at this by working out and running, and being busy all day long. So when I do need to sit down, I can sit still. But back then I couldn't, so I couldn't really sit still and read paragraphs because I'd be too hyper and too bored. I used to get bored very easy. My attention span was suck. But now this year I read like 4 books already, which is pretty impressive and amazing for myself. And I'm only speaking for myself because I used to love reading books, but it would take me like a month to finish like a few chapters. Yeah, I struggled with like comprehension. Couldn't really comprehend things well, so I would have to like sit there and read it over again and try to reenact the scenario in my head to figure out what the hell was going on. Damn heaters. I love my apartment, but these damn heaters are loud. But what else? What else do I need to talk about? Oh, so I was talking about diverticulitis when I was back. I think I was like 19 years old, 20 years old when I worked at Kohl's. Oh my God, if you only knew the stories about Kohl's, the other story about Kohl's, how I used to have to get home. My friend, which I won't mention his name either, he lives in Fontana. He knows what I'm talking about. He's my best friend forever. He's having a baby very soon. But I used to have to walk, you won't believe this, because I didn't have a car. I didn't have I would ask people for rides, and a lot of the time they would tell me, it's out, it's not on my way. I don't have gas, and I was too broke. Like, here's the last $5 I have, but I won't eat tomorrow. And I was too shy. A lot of the time I was way too shy to ask for rides. So I would walk. I would walk my happy ass home, scared as shit. And believe me, those were some scary times. So if you live in Fontana by chance and you're watching this video, so think of Fontana where the Kohl's is. In North End Fontana, there's like Target. It's like a really good shopping center in North End Fontana. And I lived on the south end of Fontana, which is Merrill Street. And let me tell you how long it took me to walk home. It took me about 5 hours. 5 hours. I'm not joking. At the time, I was going to school for aeronautical engineering as well, and that's where I met my best friend. But I would walk all the way home, be tired as shit, mad as hell. Like, why? Why did you give me this life? My mom doesn't want me. My dad, is in and out of jail, and, we had our issues, so I didn't really talk to my dad. My cousins didn't want me because of our past history, and my other family, they were just, I don't want to talk about them. It's too personal. But yeah, so I had to walk all the way home, 6 hours. And so after that, I was going to school during that time, I was going to school for aeronautical engineering. And mind to tell you, Kohl's was my old job that I had. I had a job at Best Buy too, which both places I got fired. Because I always was sick, and I always had to call out, and I was always in pain, and always suffering, So when I would walk home, and I would rush home because by the time it's like 7 a.m. because Kohl's closes late, and I would always work late because by the time I get off Best Buy, I'd have to take the bus to Kohl's, walk like 5 miles to Kohl's because at the time, that whatever bus drop off area didn't have more stops to where I went or other buses. They were building those transits, but by then I got fired. But I lost a lot of weight during that time, which was nice. I was pretty overweight, and it was summertime, hot, like 110 degrees, in Fontana. It gets hot, really, really, really hot. But that's when I found out I had diverticulitis. I passed out and woke up in the hospital, and they were like, have you been bleeding from your stool? And I'm like, yeah. No, I don't go see a doctor. No, I don't come to the hospital. No, I don't get checked. I don't know what's going on, but I'm trying to like pass it through. Like, this is embarrassing as shit. If you have lupus and have you ever experienced that, you know what I'm talking about. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to put this business out there, but it's what I went through. This is what I went through. But anyways, getting home at like 6 in the morning, rushing in the damn shower, tired of shit, going to the gas station, buying my Monster, buying my muffin, my chocolate muffin, those big humongous chocolate muffins, and then eating it on the bus, and tired of shit. I would fall asleep in class, and my professor would like, you know, I remember the one time I fell asleep, and he would get so annoyed because I'd be in lecture, and I'm like, you know, I'm tired. I just got out of work. I walked home. I got blisters on my feet, and I'm bleeding from my ass. Tired. These are true stories. I can't believe I'm talking about this stuff. If my coworkers mention this, I'm gonna kick your ass. Code gray, staff on staff. But these are true stories. My cousin knows and my best friend knows. They all know. Their dad knows, but we don't talk really, so whatever. But so I'm like in class, falling asleep. He pulls out his long ass ruler that he always used to teach us, and boom, he hit it. He hit it across the desk, and I wake up and I'm like, what? Stop falling asleep in my class. Mind to tell you, I was an A+ student. I loved aeronautical engineering. I wanted to work for Boeing. Shit, badass fucking class. I even got offered a scholarship, but I got depressed. Depression kicked in, and at the time, I dropped everything. I left school, withdrew from all my classes. I got A's, and yet I was actually at the time I was in 16 units or more. I remember being overly because I was in everything I wanted to do in life. I had ambition towards. Even though I suffered with depression, I tried. And yeah, I failed a lot, but you grow when you fail. So I'm now learning that. So shit, I'll fail more often as long as I keep growing. Hey, I'm weird. Shut up. But I'm gonna have to do a part 3 some other time. But to finish my story about Kohl's and Best Buy and being in school full time and having to run home or walk home, I eventually bought a bike, and I have a scar because every time I bought a bike, Walmart, you guys made like millions off me. I guarantee it. Because I shopped at you forever. Wherever I lived, wherever I had to move, Walmart was my go-to place because you guys were the cheapest place, and you guys were like whatever I could afford. Bananas and Top Ramen and Hot Cheetos. I'm telling you, I had a poor diet back then, which is what triggered a lot of flares that I didn't know that I had lupus. So now that I know, you know, you got to learn how to change your appetite. I mean, not your appetite, but your whatever it is that you put in your bodies, because it matters. It really, really does matter. And I think I said that in my part 1 video, which I didn't put on my thing part 1. I'm so sorry that these are long, but I really, 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 really want to get in debt as what I went through in life and now what I'm going through now, because it's so much better. My life is so much better. I have a car. I actually have 2 cars. Fudge. I didn't say it. I said fudge. Yeah, I have 2 cars. Unfortunately, my first car, I didn't know nothing about buying cars, so I bought a lemon. If you have ever had one, you would know exactly what that means, and I got suckered into it. I was stupid. I had no brain. I think I got suckered into my second car. But I love my second car. I'm not gonna lie. Love it. But yeah, I'm gonna have to make a part 3 video probably tomorrow, and I'll upload it, and I'll upload more. I'm gonna be uploading a lot more. I promise my coworkers, I promise a lot of my friends online on my Cortez Mentality Instagram site. My daughters also have them because I cherish my girls, and they have their own webs. Well, it's kind of ours. It's like my other personal account, but mostly based on my kids because I love them so much. And I have my nephew living with me. He's great. He's amazing. Look at this house. Every day. But yet when my cousin comes over, the one that lives here, it's always dirty. Never fails. You okay, Mama? You want to take these out now? Oh, pobrecita, mi amorcita bonita. Come on, Mama. This blanket. I still gotta put my clothes away. Folding laundry. Man, this new freaking energy that I have now, gosh, it's insane. I don't even have to drink coffee anymore. I think I said that earlier. I drink coffee because I freaking love the flavor, but I'm literally cutting it down every day. Every day. I still make the same amount, which is bull. I don't know why I waste so much. So I make a big amount of coffee first thing in the morning. First thing in the morning when I wake up, I try to drink, my water, and then I have coffee. I like to work out in the mornings, which is another thing I've learned how to do and change to, get myself better. But yeah, I don't even need it anymore. I have so much energy. It's insane. So that's why I'm back in school full time, and I'm 32 years old, raising three kids on my own. I think I break down a lot though. Not gonna lie. I have my breaking down moments. I'm always breaking down in my car, like, I can't do this. I'm so tired. Why? Just 2 days ago, I was throwing up blood. I'm on my second day off from work because I got put off work so I can, de-stress. I'm supposed to pick up my medication, which I forgot to do today, and I was at Walmart like 3 times. Shit. Yeah, I gotta make a part 3. I gotta go to bed. I gotta do the rest of my stuff. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you. I think it's time for me to finally talk about everything because so many people have been asking me to put this out there, and I've been wanting to, but I'm shy. I'm really learning not to be shy anymore. I think I was kind of like insecure about my teeth. I don't like my teeth. A lot of people know that already. Which I don't care anymore. I love life. I'm starting to love life. I'm starting to love me for who I am, and no matter what I look like, I don't care anymore. I've lost a lot of my hair, which it's just crazy what you go through. And I'm so sorry for everybody that suffers with it. And I wish that I can help every single one of you. And I wish that I can give you guys my mentality now and just pass it all to you, because I want you guys to have this knowledge, because it literally took me to educate myself properly. Literally dig, research. If I only knew what type of research to tell you guys, what are they called? Peer-reviewed journal articles. Since I go to school, I get access to a lot of those, which some of them you do have to pay for if you're not in school. So I get access to those. I should print them out and just read them to you. I'll sit on camera and just read them to you, give you some free info, as long as it's not illegal. I would never go to jail. Never. I love my kids too much. Even though sometimes I feel like I'm going to jail, because sometimes I just lose my mind. My temper. That's why they invented the speed bag and some weights. You see my weights over there? But anyways, yes, I'm going to cut this video out. So I can upload it tonight, and I'm not going to edit anything. You're just going to get as is. Sorry. I lose my train of thought a lot. And you're going to see, my house, which is not really much, but I love it. It's starting to happen, you guys. Starting to happen. But yeah, so Cortez mentality, Instagram. That's all I have so far. I have Twitter, but I don't remember my Twitter name. I never get log onto it. I try to stay off my phone all the time. I'd rather spend time with my kids than be on my phone, which I do fail a lot. So I'm not perfect. We're all human. I love everybody. And if you have lupus, I'm with you. Okay? I'm really goofy, so whatever. But I'm with you. You got this? I hope so.